Your car just lied to you. That engine power is reduced. Warning feels like your engine is falling apart. But here's the kicker. The engine itself is probably fine. What's actually happening is your car's brain, the ECU, detected something sketchy from a sensor and slammed the brakes on your power to protect itself. It's not broken, it's scared. And the wild part? Sometimes the fix is literally just pulling over, restarting the car, and grabbing a cheap OBD2 scanner to read one error code. We're walking through the whole thing right now, so you stop guessing. Picture this. You're merging onto the highway, you floor it, and the car just kind of shrugs. The throttle goes soft, the RPMs won't climb, and that orange warning lights up the dash. Suddenly you're doing 35 in the fast lane with trucks blowing past you, and your brain goes straight to worst case. Engine's blown, transmission's gone. Whatever it is, it's expensive. Here's what most people get completely wrong in that moment. They assume the engine is the problem. But the engine is usually fine. What's actually happening is your ECU, which is basically the main computer running your whole car, saw something it didn't like and made a call to protect itself before things got worse. It didn't ask you. It just did it. So why does it feel so dramatic? Because the ECU doesn't explain itself. It just cuts your throttle response, caps your RPMs somewhere low, and basically says, we're going slow until I figure this out. That's limp mode. And it's not a failure. It's a feature that was deliberately built in. Think of the ECU like an overprotective parent who takes your car keys the second your grades slip. It doesn't matter that you were about to ace the next test. It saw one bad report card, one weird sensor reading, and it grounded you on the spot. No discussion, no appeal process, just reduced power and an orange light. The reason it reacts so fast is because it's watching everything at once. Throttle position, oxygen levels, mass airflow, transmission temperature, engine coolant temp, dozens of sensors feeding data back to the ECU hundreds of times per second. That's not an exaggeration. The ECU is constantly cross-checking all of it, and the second one reading goes outside its expected range, it flags that as a threat. And here's the kicker. The ECU has no idea if that bad reading is coming from a $5 sensor that's just dirty, or from something serious like a failing transmission solenoid that costs $2,000 to fix. It genuinely cannot tell the difference. So it defaults to the safest possible response, which is pulling power back and preventing you from pushing the engine harder while something unknown is going on. That's actually really smart engineering when you think about it. Running an engine hard with a messed up air-fuel mixture can score your cylinder walls in minutes. Pushing a transmission that's already slipping can burn the clutch packs fast. Limp mode is the ECU putting a ceiling on the damage, so you're dealing with a small repair instead of a full rebuild. So is your car actually broken? Or is it just in timeout? Most of the time, it's the timeout. The car isn't dying. It's waiting for a reason to trust the sensor data again, and once it gets that, it'll release the restriction on its own. When that warning hits, the first move isn't to panic and call a tow truck. It's to get out of traffic safely, pull over, and recognize that your car just did exactly what it was designed to do. The engine protected itself. Now you just need to figure out what spooked it in the first place. And that answer is already stored inside your car's computer right now, in a specific fault code that tells you exactly which system triggered the whole thing. You know how sometimes your phone just starts acting weird, apps freezing, screen lagging, and you restart it and everything's fine? Your car can actually do the same thing, and a lot of people don't realize that restarting the engine after a limp mode event is a legitimate first step, not just wishful thinking. Here's how that works. When the ECU triggers reduced power, it stores a fault code in its memory and locks into that protective state. But if the sensor reading that caused the fault was a one-time glitch, a brief voltage spike, a loose connector that momentarily lost contact, restarting gives the ECU a fresh read on everything. If that bad data doesn't come back, the ECU may just release the power restriction on its own and let you drive normally again. The catch is that a restart only works if the underlying problem is actually gone or was never real to begin with. If you restart and that warning comes back within a few minutes, the ECU is telling you the problem is still there and it's not going away on its own. That's an important distinction because it changes what you do next. So before you even grab a scanner, check your fluids. Oil, coolant, transmission fluid. Pull over somewhere safe and actually look. Low oil pressure or an overheating engine can absolutely trigger reduced power. And those are things you can see with your own eyes right there on the side of the road. If your coolant is empty or your oil is way down, that's already pointing you somewhere specific. Now here's where the $20 OBD2 scanner comes in, and this is honestly the part most people skip because they just don't know it exists. Did you know every car made after 1996 has a standardized diagnostic port built into it, usually tucked under the dash near the steering column? You plug the scanner in, turn the key to the on position without starting the engine, and it pulls whatever fault codes the ECU has stored. Those codes look like P0121 or P0171, and they sound cryptic, but they're actually really specific. P0121 means the throttle position sensor signal is out of its expected range. P0171 means the engine is running lean, so too much air and not enough fuel getting into the combustion chamber. Each code points directly at a specific system, which is way more useful than just staring at a dashboard that says power is reduced. You won't believe how much money people hand over to mechanics just to get those codes read. Some shops charge $100 to $200 for a diagnostic scan that takes literally 3 minutes to run. A basic Bluetooth OBD2 scanner costs $20 to $30 on Amazon and pairs with a free app on your phone. Same codes, same information, and you own the tool forever. Once you have the code, you can look it up and immediately start figuring out whether this is a sensor you can clean or swap yourself for under $50. Or whether it's pointing at something bigger like a failing catalytic converter or a transmission control module that genuinely needs a professional. The scanner is how you tell a temporary glitch from a real repeating fault. Without it, you're just guessing. And when you do walk into a shop already knowing your code, you're not starting from zero anymore. You're walking in with actual data in your hand. Reduced engine power is almost never the engine giving up. It's the ECU doing its job, and your job is to work with it. Pull over, restart, check your fluids, pull the code, and then you actually know what you're dealing with instead of just guessing. Keep a cheap OBD2 scanner in your glove box. Seriously, it's the most useful $20 you'll spend on your car.